Pros and cons of living in Dublin, California. Let's do it. How's it going, everybody? Yes, this is Cooper Eisenmann, the same Cooper Eisenmann that works for Intero Real Estate. I shaved about 15 years off of my age, but don't worry, I'm still old enough to handle a real estate transaction. And today we are getting into the pros and cons of Dublin, California. And if this is your first time at my channel, I want to invite you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification if and only if you want to stay up to date every time I post a new video. I focus on a 6-city region here in the Tri-Valley area, which is a part of the East Bay area in Northern California. So if you're considering a move to Livermore, Pleasanton, Dublin, San Ramon, Danville, or Alamo, give me a call anytime. I absolutely love hearing from you, and I am getting emails and calls from a ton of people considering a move to this region. I'm gonna put my number here or here so you can contact me by phone, text, or email anytime, and we can discuss the details so you're educated and well informed if you are considering a move to this area. Now, let's get into the pros and cons of Dublin, California. Now, number one on my list, Dublin is ranked as one of the fastest growing cities in California, and this comes as a pro and a con in my opinion, and I'll get to the cons later on in this video. But the pro side of this is that most of the homes are new. At least it's getting to the point, because they're doing so much development, that most of these homes are on the newer side. And this is a pro because of course you have newer homes, which means newer building material, newer plumbing fixtures, newer sewage in the streets. So homeowners typically don't need to deal with any of the costs that come along with an older home that was built in the 60s and 70s. So they can just kind of relax and understand and know that their home is in good shape and they don't need to worry about those big costs until way later down the road. Another pro of this is that to assist with all the residential growth, they are building a ton of recreational and retail centers within the Dublin area, which is also amazing because there's just a ton of new buildings and new developments like stores, grocery stores, places to eat, etc. So the demand in residential real estate is assisting in the growth of the city as a whole, and it's just a really nice place to be. Number two on my list is that Dublin is very safe and it has high-ranking schools, just like the entire Tri-Valley area as a whole. If you heard me talk in prior videos, you know that I'm a big proponent of this area because of the safety and the high-rated schools, and Dublin is no exception. Their schools are ranked between 7 and 10s across the board, and that speaks for itself. So just know if you're moving to Dublin, you can expect a great schooling experience for your kids and safety to come along with it. Number three on my list is that it's centrally located in the Tri-Valley area, just like the rest of the towns in this region. I love it because of the location and proximity to San Francisco, the tech companies in the South Bay and Peninsula, as well as your close-ish proximity to wakeboarding and snowboarding and other fun outdoor activities where you're only a few hours drive to really do anything you could possibly want. And that's another reason why I love the Bay Area and Tri-Valley more specifically so much. Number four on my list is BART. Now, I haven't mentioned these in other videos because honestly they just slipped my mind, but BART is huge. And if you don't know what BART is, it stands for Bay Area Rapid Transport, and that is our public train system that gets you basically anywhere you need to be within the Bay Area without having to commute in car. So a ton of people utilize BART to go to baseball or football games. They also use it to commute as well and get to the city or the South Bay so that they also don't need to drive in their car. So on to my cons. Now, number one, again, just like number one in my pros, is that it's a really fast growing city, and with fast growing cities, that means a lot of population density. They are adding a lot of homes and they're all selling to new residents, and coming with that is a lot of traffic and a lot of people. So if you're not a people person or you don't like being in a heavily populated area, then I'm gonna just suggest you don't move to the Tri-Valley or Bay Area as a whole. But I'm assuming that you understand that the Bay Area is very dense, and Dublin is no exception as well. There are a lot of people, there are more people moving in every day, hence the reason it's one of the fastest growing cities in California. Number two on my cons list is that coming along with the fastest growing city idea is the fact that they're building a lot of 3-story or tri-level residential homes, which means to meet up with the demand, they need to utilize as much land that they have access to. So to do that, they're building 3-story homes to add square footage but not utilize lot space. They're going to utilize the airspace. So just know that a lot of the homes that are being built are in a townhome or condo setting. Those sometimes can be tri-level, but also some detached residential homes are also 3 stories. Now again, this is a preference to each individual person. If you're asking me, I'm not gonna touch a 3-story residential home. That's just not my style, not my vibe, and I can't imagine with my 2-year-old walking up and down 3 sets of stairs anytime I need to get from like the garage to the top floor where the bedrooms typically are. So again, that's a preference for you and for you only, but I just wanted to warn you and let you know that there are a lot of 3-story homes being built in Dublin. That isn't to say that you can't buy a 2-story house. There's a lot of new construction and older Dublin homes that are 2-story and single-story, so you do have options, but just know that a lot of 3-story homes are available here in Dublin. Now number 3, most people will be surprised to hear this, but Dublin is home to the Alameda County Santa Rita Jail, where it houses, of course, the Alameda County inmates. Now it's interesting because Dublin and the Tri-Valley as a whole is such a nice area, you would never expect it to be home to the entire county's jail system, but it is. It's located off Dublin Boulevard in the hills about a mile or 2, and I put this as a con just because we know it is there. Now I can tell you from experience, I've lived here my entire life and I've heard of maybe 2 cases literally of an inmate being released and causing problems within the residential neighborhoods. So it happens so little that it's almost unnoticeable. They do a very good job at keeping a tight security on Santa Rita Jail, and I can assure you, you will not run into any issues with inmates. They have a bus line that picks them up in front of the jail and takes them home wherever that may be. From experience, I can tell you the most you're gonna know about the jail if you're passing through Dublin is the occasional sheriff patrol car or sheriff van transporting inmates from other jails like in Oakland and maybe to and from the hospital if an inmate needs medical services. So that's about it, but just so you know, Santa Rita Jail is located in the hills in Dublin and it is there. You can always drive by in front and see for yourself, and when you drive by you'll notice that the inmates don't even have exterior jail open space, so not once will you ever drive by and actually see an inmate from Santa Rita Jail outside in your personal view. They're always inside or in the middle of the jail itself. Now there is a federal women's prison right next door, and I must tell you that you can see those inmates outside hanging out in the open space every once in a while, but again, you will not have any issues with these inmates, as Santa Rita Jail does an amazing job with security. Now number 4 on my cons list is that there's no real downtown. Now if you ask Dublin or Dublin officials, they'll tell you they are building a downtown and they've already started it. But if you ask me, there is no downtown. If you can find one, let me know, because I've never seen it. Having a downtown in the city I live in is crucial for me just because I love going to those areas and eating outside, hanging out at the street fairs that they mostly have, going to car shows, just taking a nice stroll or bike ride down the street and hanging out. To me, it's a huge vibe and I really love it, and Dublin does not have one of these. Now, obviously, if you move to Dublin, you have Livermore and Pleasanton, which are neighboring cities. They both have a classic downtown setting, and the next one would be in Danville. That would be the next classic downtown setting in my opinion. So you do have 3 options that are all within a 15-minute drive if you do want to utilize a downtown area. But just know that Dublin does not have its own. So that's it for my pros and cons. I want to thank you for watching, and as always, I love to hear from you, and I am getting calls and emails from people considering a move here. So if you want to reach out to me personally, you can get my information here or here. You can call me, text me, or email me anytime. I will get back to you within 15 or 20 minutes, so it's super simple. If you have any specific questions about a city or a neighborhood in the Tri-Valley, you can always reach me as well, and we can do a Zoom call or a WhatsApp call, and I can actually walk you through these places so you have a live look at what you're interested in. I want you to be educated and well informed before you make the huge decision of buying a home in one of these areas, and I love to be that guy for you. So I want to thank you again, and until next time, see ya.